Hello everyone. So let's start. First, let me allow to share my screen. Why we all of us are here today. As you have gone through my message, my flyer of today's session, and all of us actually aware of it that the span of human attention, it was discovered in the year 2015 that the attention span of a human is 8 to 10 seconds. Yes, and we are here to discuss what we should do different with which we will be able to grab, not only grab, to hold the attention of our audience, whether it is virtual or a physical or an offline meeting we will be conducting. So it is very difficult, right? But what if I tell you that there is a methodology and technique through which we will be able to have the attention of our audience not only for seconds but for hours and hours. Those of you who are aware of that technique, please keep it with you till the end of our session. And those of you who are not aware, keep your curiosity alive. With that, let's move. As I have already mentioned, why all of us are here to have that strong opening. When we talk about deliberating our session, if you are a student, you must be participating in speeches, you must be presenting your project in your college, in your university, or if you are a job seeker, that interview, that first introduction of yours that you want to tell to the interviewer on that side of the table, that interviewing, that interesting your introduction. If you are into job, that presentation you want to give to your boss or to your team member, or if you are a professional, a trainer or a coach like me, and you must be delivering your session on your core area. All of us want that attention, not only at the start, but throughout the session of ours. And here we are today to discuss about exactly how to tap into that attention of our audience, not only tap it, grab it and have it throughout you speak, you deliberate your session. Hello, I am CA Kalpana Thakur and I am chartered accountant by profession and motivational speaker, soft skill trainer by passion. I help people in sharpening their saw of soft skills. And we are here today. What we are going to do, as I've mentioned it twice, to have that strategies, that tips, that step you should follow to have the attention of your audience. Before starting, let's brainstorm about the topic, why we want to have attention of our audience at the start, why we want to get that attention when we start speaking. And at the same time, I would like to mention that at the initial 10 minutes of you hearing anyone or your participant will decide that whether you will be heard. Let's take an example of today's session. Whether you guys are going to hear me till the end, that will be decided by you at the initial 10 minutes of my deliberation. Then why it is important to have that attention. Whenever we communicate, right now, I'm communicating with all of you, sharing my ideas, my tips, my research about having the attention, how to grab that initial attention of your audience, that those information that is with me, and I want to transfer it to all of you, right? So, and at present you may be somewhere, right, in NLP language, meeting it where you are. And through my communication, like in today's session, my purpose is to take all of you through the tips and tricks and research I have done. I am experimenting, I'm noticing in my journey of public speaking, being a orator, being a communicator, how to grab that attention. So that information will be is with me, and I want to pass it to all of you, right? Meeting you where you are. And what our point in having that discussion, having that conversation, that speech, virtually or offline, we want to convey our idea. If you are someone who is selling your product, say for example, and you have to tell about your product, you want to make your audience listen to you, right? Then only the idea you have on your plate you will be able to put across on the table. So that's why attention is needed no matter what we have in our store to offer to our audience. If they will not listen, the whole purpose of the communication, the basic definition of the communication, there is a sender, there is a message, and there is a receiver. If the attention of your receiver is not with you from the start, how that message will be transferred to your receiver, and how you will get the feedback about your product, your service that you are offering to them, that whether it is good, it is bad, or it needs some improvement. So with that, let's begin. Before delving into detailed discussion that what we should do to have those attention at the start, first discuss the worst openers, speech openers. Let's brainstorm on it. First one is anything technical. Say, for example, I would have started today's session with we have started at 6:03, and exactly at that point of time, I would have logged in to Zoom, and I must have asked, is my video visible to everybody? Am I audible properly? Let me just open my PPT. Are you guys able to view my PPT properly? Is the light proper? That was the example of virtual session. In physical session, you will be on the stage. You will see if you have any PPT to share. Are you guys able to? Am I able to? How this will be connected? I'm not able to share my screen. Is mic? Is the speaker is working properly? Okay. Oh, this projector is not. So take it in this way. A book is judged by its cover. And you, as a speaker, especially that first time, if you are going to interact with your audience, those first exchange of ideas, thoughts, and those lines are coming out of your mouth, that technical checks you are doing, stop doing it. Like in today's session, I've logged in around 5:50. Similarly, in the offline session, you be try to be not try to be you be on the venue well before in time to have all that technical checks in place before your scheduled time to start, because it not look good when you try those when you do those testing, you at yourself just go back and remind those session. I'm sure it must have happened with you in the past. If you must be listening to someone, those technical check must be conducted in front of you after formally meeting was started, and how it actually looks. So those initial seconds, those initial minutes, you are losing the attention of your so precious audience attention in those technical checks. Next is never mention your nervousness. Yes, most of you will tell that I have gone through many speakers, though they mention outright that they feel nervous, and actually they are doing very gracefully. Their speeches went very well. So hold on your curiosity. We will touch upon that point later in our discussion. But for now, try to understand that. Let's take an example. If I would have started the session and I must have been, if I would have been sounding nervous, like, hello everyone, thank you for being here. And let's try. I'll try to actually discuss, and I'll see if it will work. That whether you will be able to have the attention. Actually I'm feeling very nervous. And let's try. So I've tried to do my acting part, but I was actually not. I'm not actually nervous. So then to imagine if my start would have been in that manner, where you as an audience would have been able to gauge that I'm not confident enough. Whatever I'm going to speak at this moment in next 1 hour. Would I, would it have been fair as a speaker that giving that message across that I am not confident? Having that fear, there is different kinds of fear, nervousness, being a deliberating a session in front of different audience, a fear of familiarity. If it happens that when I deliver session in front of similar audience, I get accustomed to them and I feel comfortable. And when it comes to even a pro speaker, I've heard it from many of them that they are very good in their speaking, but when it comes to experimenting or speaking in front of altogether new audience, they get some nervousness that how it will happen, how they will be able to have that repo, whether they will be appreciated, whether they'll be able to connect with this new type of audience. But all of the good public speaker, if they are nervous, they are, but you don't have to mention it, you don't have to show it. Let's take an example. I'm not nervous, but if I would have been nervous and it was there in the initial journey of mine as a public speaker, as a trainer, in those initial days when I was taking session, I was afraid from heart, but it was not appearing in my performances. So you have to work very smartly and have you have to accept that anxiety, that nervousness, and you have to tell yourself, take deep breath, that yes, this is normal and I will be awesome and flawless. Next is half-hearted intros. That you are there on the stage, you have to start your session and say, for example, I will tell, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for all of you for being here and joining in the today's session. If someone would have introduced me, so let's take an example. If Shalu has introduced me, so what I'll say, thank you, Shalu, for such a wonderful introduction. So here, what is happening? Are you guys able to make that I'm speaking, but it is not coming from my heart? Only words are coming, which is less than 10% of my communication, and more than 90% my eye movement, my facial expression, my gestures are not in sync. And audience is there, they are more smart like you all guys, they'll able to make that it is not what we are feeling, what we are talking. So be there at that moment. Be mindful that time which you are deliberating, You are taking time of all of your audience, and you have to be there, not only physically, mentally, with your whole heart. And then only you will be able to do justice with the time of yours and all of those audience, like all of you wonderful guys here. Next is mentioning that you are not prepared. It sometimes it happens that we prepare a lot, then also we feel like it is our preparation is not enough, and that will happen in your initial days of your journey when you will speak out to the larger audience. It is good sign that we feel like there is lot more scope to prepare, but have the feeling. And if you have been there in my previous session, that when visual mental rehearsal, visualize that you are going to do it in a fantastic manner. And last but not the least, as I'm deliberating and focusing this part from the start itself, body language. Just now I have mentioned 10%, less than 10% is the word we speak up, and more than 90% is our non-verbal communication. So if it is a um, offline session, stand straight, um, eye contact, a comfortable eye, confident eye contact with your audience, a gentle smile on your face, comfortable hand gestures should be there when you will start and throughout the session. And now let's begin to have that attention grabbing in sessions, attention grabbing start of your session. So first is confident introduction. And again here I will give example of my introduction, how we have started. I've mentioned about, there was a something we have discussed about the attention span, then why we are here. And I have mentioned that, hello, my name is Kalpana Thakur. I'm chartered accountant by profession. And what next I have mentioned, if you guys remember, I help people to work on their soft skill. I train people to work on their soft skill. Otherwise, I'll take you back to my introduction slide. Otherwise, how it would have been. Hello, everyone. My name is CA Kalpana Thakur. I've qualified in the year 2012. After that, in the year 2014, I've joined one of the big four, Deloitte Huskins and Sells. After that, I was being there with them for 5 years of time. After getting married in the year 2017, I shifted to Delhi, and in the year 2018, when I embraced motherhood for the first time, I left my Deloitte journey, my corporate journey. I've joined my husband practice, blah, 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 blah. From that day till now, I would have given you my introduction. So tell me, which introduction is best to give? I'm sure all of you will tell the first one, the way I did in today's introduction. Not running you through my whole life journey, giving it short, sweet, and simple. See, everybody is there to give their introduction when it comes to getting yourself aware with the audience. But we have to understand that when the audience are here and they want to listen to specific topic, they are here with some intention, they want to hear more what we can actually do for them. So they are having some pain point, some concern, and they are actually interested in knowing that what we can do for them, what that special qualities we have, which is making us best person to speak on the topic. And you started speaking and you are going on and on and on about your own self. it will take the attention of your audience away. So, start of the session. If someone is there to introduce you, great. And if you get the opportunity to speak about you, have we will discuss about it later, that problem and the solution you are offering. But please do not fall into the trap of giving your whole life story. We will discuss more about it. It should be short, simple, and sweet, confident enough so that people will be able to convince that yes, this is the person we want to hear. We want to hear next 1 hour or whatever the time period is. Here I would like to remind you, when we are going through any videos on YouTube or social media, just go back and have that awareness that uh, judge yourself in that moment what you are actually noticing. Those videos in that initial minute, what you are trying to see, the way that speaker is talking about themselves, the way they are starting in those initial minutes, we decide whether we have to watch them or not. And trust me, I'm going through many videos these days, and those are best, I must say, are having very quick and sharp, I must say, to the point introduction. They are not talking much about themselves. Their content, their knowledge, the way they speak throughout the session, it talks what they are. So you have to have that quality in yourself that people should, after hearing to you, they should search about yourself, about your life, until the time we you reach there, we reach there, be focused on your qualities, your orator ship, your public speaking skills, your communication skill. So lots of information about having that confident introduction. Now I would like to have two volunteers from all of you. If you any two of you can come up and give your introduction. So who will introduce themselves? Recording in progress. I was so much in the session that I just forgot to record it. Not, nonetheless, so I want two volunteers to share, to speak, to introduce themselves in a minute. Any volunteer? Please raise your hand if you would like to do it. Till the time anyone would make your mind to give your introduction. Today I gave my introduction. I'm doing some experiments in today's session. Slowly and gradually I will reveal what are those. So there was the introduction, like I have shared that slide of in which my experience and whole lot things are mentioned. Just let me share that screen with all of you again. And at the same time, I would request that two of you, if you can volunteer to give your introduction. So here is the slide. So how I spoke in at the start of our session. My name is CA Kalpana Thakur, and my profession and passion path, and I help people to work and polish on their soft skills. Instead of this introduction, I know there are scenarios where someone will introduce you, right? And yeah, we are having one volunteer. So Abhishek, just a minute. I'll give an example, and I want all of yours, genuine feedback. That was the introduction, and again, I'll want to give another example that how I would have introduced myself. So hello everyone, my name is CA Kalpana Thakur. I've qualified in the year 2012. After that, I've joined one of the big four for in Mumbai, and I've been there with them till the year 2017. Then I got married and shifted to Delhi in 2018. I left Deloitte, and that was the start of my motherhood journey. Then in the 3 years of Corona peak time, I gave birth to my second child. And that was the year 2020, 21, 22. I got to realize that training, coaching, and connecting with the people is my ikigai, and blah, blah, blah. The whole sort of thing that is there in the slide, I would have mentioned it. So what do you guys feel that that was a interesting and engaging introduction, or the one which I have given at the start? Genuine feedback I want from all of you. The whole lot of story I should
The
tell.
one at the start.
The one at the start.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you,
short,
Pinaki.
sweet, and beautiful one.
Yes, yes. First
Short,
one.
sweet, and straight. Yeah.
Yes. The, all of us are having a story and an introduction, right? And the point is, when you are speaker, you have to stand out. राइट सबके पास एक अपनी कहानी है, सबकी एक अपनी लाइफ है, एवरीबडी इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ बैकग्राउंड, अ डिसेंट बैकग्राउंड, एंड दे हैव द स्टोरी टू शेयर. But when it is short, simple, and sweet, that's what when we catch the attention of the audience. And as rightly mentioned by Sunita at the start, when we were discussing the don'ts of good presentation starters, speech starters, she has mentioned that the speaker will speak too much about themselves. So with that, let's first have Abhishek Malhotra to share. Yes, Abhishek, you can unmute yourself and you have 1 minute to give your introduction.
Okay, hi everybody, and thanks for the opportunity, and thank you, ma'am, for taking this up. I'm Abhishek Malhotra. I work for Wipro India. Wipro India is GSI is helping clients delivering services around IT and solving their challenges around it. And I, as a global alliance manager, help my clients and my internal and external customer to position Wipro very well in the industry. I'm living with my family of two sharp kids and wife. She's again an IT professional, and I live in Gurgaon. I hope that's is what I got to. I'm still making my some story in my mind, but it's not working.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. I must say the smile which you had on your face at the end of your introduction, if it would have it would have been at the start, it would have been amazing.
Okay, got it. Got that a clue. I got that clue. So
Yeah.
that's my USP anyway. I get compliments on that. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So Khushbu, Khushbu, are you able to hear me? Are you there? Okay, so anyone else would like to try?
Yeah, I can give it a shot.
Okay.
If I'm allowed.
Yes, yes.
So, see, my name is Pinaki Ray, and I'm from Noida. I am a certified NLP master practitioner. I am also into digital marketing activities for a long time. And my purpose in life is to inspire and empower people to live better lives in every possible way, no matter what way it is.
Okay. Thank you, Pinaki. So here, a small feedback I want from all of you. Till the time, whatever we have discussed, is there something that need to be done further in these two introductions? In Abhishek's case, I've mentioned the smile on the face. In Pinaki's case, his video was not on. He has not kept his video on. So other than that, a small feedback from all of you. What could have done? What could have been better in the introduction? Anyone? Sunita?
Energy was missing.
Energy was missing in both the cases or in one of the case?
Pinaki is a slightly more
Okay.
compared
In
to
both,
others.
yes. In both the cases, energy was missing. And when we talk about short, simple, and sweet, it was there, but it can further elaborate it. We will discuss in the next slide that when people are here to listen to us, what we should speak, that it should exactly tap to for what reason they are here. Thank you to both of our volunteer, Abhishek and Pinaki. Let's move ahead. as I was mentioning, what we should mention, as if you have noticed in my introduction, what I have mentioned here, we all of us are here to master one of the methodology of delivering our session, that is how to start it. So all of us are here to work upon our communication skill, right? And what I have mentioned, I'm disclosing my secret, that I have mentioned that I have exactly tapped on the point that I help people. Actually, I do that, but to demonstrate how I have mentioned that, I help people to work upon their soft skills, right? So there is a problem, and we have to give solution to that. And at the same time, when we are speaking, as I was mentioning, there are so many people around, everybody is having their introduction, and there are lot many speakers, coaches and trainers, or if you are in a job, there are lot many colleagues and employees, and your competitors will be there. You have to prove that whatever you are doing, you are best at what you are delivering, what you are going to speak. No one is there who will beat you. And for that, simplicity and to the point is very important. So what I have mentioned in my introduction, I help people on work to work on their soft skill, communication, public speaking. And I have my credentials. I am working from last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And before that, I was also in a finance stream. So, in short, giving what you are exactly doing and how it is meeting the need of that audience, which those are there to hear. You don't have to give your, as in my second introduction, the second example I was mentioning, I am having 5 years of experience. Then in the Corona time, what I did, now what I'll do, that is not needed to mention. So here I would like to add elevator pitch. So in short, how you will speak and the problem and solution I was mentioning previously, that what is the problem with the audience, or what is the concern for which we are giving our solution. Like we have heard, so you must have heard many TED Talks or YouTube video or social media content. If any of them you are watching, try to be aware now that how your pattern of watching them all or moving ahead is. If you are looking out for something, let's take an example. If I'm experimenting on the smile, we have discussed about the basic two smile, fake smile and genuine smile. And for that period, I will only focus on the smile. मुझे और कुछ दिखेगा ही नहीं. So similarly, if you will start working on any of the skill, and you will start experimenting, reading the stuff, watching the videos. So at the time of watching any video, notice that if at the start of the video you feel like the way that speaker is, the way he is speaking, and the credential which he is sharing, is it matching with what I want? Is that person will be able to deliver what actually I'm looking for? Then you will see that video, that content complete. Is it true? I would like to hear your answer. What I am trying to say, your awareness of watching any content, any speeches.
Yeah, like what's in it for me is more important.
Yes, what's in it for me. So in your introduction, it should be what's in it for me. Then moving ahead, that deliver your hook. And what do you mean by deliver your hook? Can I have some? I have also tried one in our today's session. If anyone, those who are there from the start, if you would have noticed what was my hook and what do you understand by hook. Let's make this session more interactive, because I would like you guys to have takeaways with you, and that you should experiment in your upcoming session, your presentation, your speech. And the moment you will not interact more, it will not happen. So here I'm trying to send that information, that idea from Zoom to you. And if you will not interact, it will not end up at your location. So guys, what do you mean by hook? And what is my hook for today's session?
What I'm going to get today?
What you are going to get today. Okay. Anyone else?
I think how to present in front of audience, how to start delivery of your presentation. That is the motto of this session.
Okay. So here I would like to share initial part of very famous speech. You all must have gone through. All must have watched it earlier. I would request everybody to please be on mute. It is the speech of Simon Sinek, and just a minute. Are you guys able to hear this? Yes or no? Okay.
How do you explain?
So the hook which I'm trying to say, just see the initial part. We will only see 2 to 3 minutes. What I'm trying to say, the hook part, which we are discussing.
When things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it.
So now tell me, assume that if you would have not gone through this video earlier, after watching this initial part, are you guys interested to hear it ahead to know what is that formula?
Yes, certainly. The secret.
Yes, the secret. And here comes the part of hook. Actually, here two things are playing together. The one is the question. He has started his deliberation with a question. But here we will discuss about the question part later on. The hook, that what is mean by jab hum machli ko when we do fishing, that in fishing rod what we do, we keep some dough in it, and how the fish got captured with it. So what is that hook for the audience to know कि कुछ तो उनको ऐसा बांध रहा है. Yes, there is something for me. If I know that, I will be happy. There is a three feeling that needs to be triggered in your audience that is done by the hook. Either they'll feel happy, successful, or free. In Simon Sinek's talk, what he is talking about, how he started, the secret behind Apple, the secret behind those brothers and Wright brothers and the other companies, those are doing good. So what is that formula is? And we would be interested and curious to know that if we will deliver our speech in that way that yes, see, have you gone through these successful people? If I'll tell you, you must have witnessed some of the great speaker of the history. What they did, they were not exceptional in their knowledge or experience. They were almost at par, let's assume, but they were having something special on which they have worked upon. You guys will feel what it is, what that secret is. Are you guys trying to understand what I'm trying to say? The hook at the start of your speech. Yes, I am here with a solution to the problem or the concern or the issue you are looking at, and I'm here with that solution. I've given my speech in Toastmaster, and there is a two method to give that speech. I've used a hook method in that speech. That is the end part of our discussion today. I'll show it at the end, and I'll ask you the other way how I would have done it, where it would have not sounded that interesting as it is now. According to me, we'll discuss that part later. So I hope all of you guys are clear with the hook part. So when next you are going to deliver your speech, your presentation, think about having that hook bringing out of your discussion at the start. Moving ahead, agenda part, as Pinaki has mentioned at the start, what's in it for me? we are taking time of the individual. Like right now it's 6:40. We are having 20 minutes remaining. So 18 people, including me, and I'm borrowing time, very precious time from all of your life. And I have to respect it and giving the agenda what we are going to discuss. As I have mentioned at the start that yes, we are going to discuss how you will start your presentation in an engaging manner. And you will able to make out, yes, this is what I'm looking for, and I'll spend this next 1 hour with Kalpana. So that's what you have to pay attention. I've seen sometime, even if you are giving a 6 to 7% prepared speech, it is advisable to tell why you are here to speak that topic and what you are going to cover, so that you are making, first of all, making that person aware that what's there in it for them. And at the same time, you are making a way into their mind, into their understanding that yes, this is the point we are tapping into. And give a credible statement. As we have gone through the speech of Simon Sinek, he has mentioned that I've gone through 3.5 hours of research. From last couple of months, I'm also going through so many videos, and I've noticed that when speakers share that yes, they are mentioning this fact from the relevant source, the research, or from this renowned institute where they have gone into the research. Like yesterday, I've gone through a TED talk where I was amazed to know that when thousands of TED talks was analyzed, and when it was noticed that what is the difference in hand gesture in the popular TED talks and not so popular TED talk, it was found that the 18 minutes of talk, those TED talks, those are viral, those are watched many times. But in those, the hand gestures by the speaker was more than 500 times. And in the one in which those were not so popular, it was half of it, close to 250. So when I've heard that statement, it registered into my mind that yes, the speaker was mentioning whatever the fact is with their words, and at the same time, what they are doing, they are underlining the fact, they are telling the story in two ways in the TED talks where so many hand gestures are there. So credibility, have the sources, the information, the data. Like in our today's session, when I've circulated the flyers, I have mentioned that all of you are aware that it is decided in initial 10 to 12 seconds that whether your audience will pay attention or not. And when I've started with that fact only. In 2015, it was research, it was concluded that the attention span of a human being is 10 to 12 seconds. So be ready to use that point, credibility, that data in your speech. When you talk about those pointers, it gives leverage to what you are talking. And then don't be predictable. And here I will deliberate the point which Sunita has mentioned at the start, that she has gone through so many speeches where the speaker is mentioning that they are actually nervous. I would say here they are playing with the unpredictability. There is a method, like I will come to the session, I will say, hello everybody, good evening, I hope all of you are doing fine. Thank you so much for sparing your 1 hour and giving your time to listen to my speech today. And as against that, how I started today my session, I'll use in today's session more and more, because here you will be able to relate with your attention to what I'm speaking. I've not said that good evening, hello, namaste. I've started with the fact, the one which was circulated in my flyer, that 10 to 12 seconds of attention, human attention span. And I have started with that. And what I've done, I've break that pattern of predictability. When we break the pattern of predictability, what happens? We get the attention more. So I would conclude that in all those speeches where speakers are agreeing that they are nervous, they are actually breaking the pattern of predictability. Yes, they are renowned faces. They are doing great in their field, and yet they are nervous. Sunita, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there and I agree with you. And it brings the authenticity as well as the engagement of the audience also when you are, accepting to something that is your vulnerability.
Yes. So when I've gone through J.K. Rowling speech, she has mentioned that she is having she was uncomfortable when she came to know that she has to deliver her speech, and I felt like, what? She felt nervous. So it was not predictable that she will feel nervous, and it triggers the interest. So human attention is all about predictability. If you are going to predict that what will happen next, will you guys be interested to listen more? I will give you a simple example of a Hindi TV serial. Till the time I was not married, till 2017, my mother used to watch that Ekta Kapoor TV serials. And in most of that serials, the story pattern, that all the characters was more or less same. There was a hero and heroine, a villain, a female villain was there. Either that couple was married or not married, and this villain used to create that problem into their life. So here mostly, I don't know what is happening now, because now I'm not watching TV from last couple of years. So that was the predictability, and I felt like I was not actively watching that series, let me tell you. My mother was watching, so I was passively watching, I must say, in those couple of hours when I was around her. So that was there. Similarly, Hindi movies, those are having the same hero, heroine, and the villain. They fall into love, then they struggle to get married. Their families are not agreeing to it. Are you guys, when you see that, yes, ab to ye hoga, when sometimes it's happened that ab ye hoga, are we guys interested to watch it later? Pura dekhne mein hum interested hote hain. Give me an honest answer. When you know that ab next kya hone wala hai, ab kya dikhega, so we lose our interest. Similarly, have some unpredictability, not some, I would say, try different permutation and combination every time you get the opportunity to deliberate a virtual as well as physical sessions. I hope this predictability point is clear with all of you. As we have just gone through Simon Sinek's speech, he started attention grabber. Here we are talking that unpredictability. As I mentioned, I will say good morning and everything, blah, blah, blah. As against that, either starting with a question, as Simon Sinek did. What happens when we start with a question, we actually tend to make our audience think in a direction in which we are going to deliberate our session. So हम already उनको उस रास्ते पे थोड़ा सा धकेल के लेके जा रहे हैं, उनका ध्यान लेके जा रहे हैं कि हाँ, जरा सोच के देखो इसके बारे में, the way Simon Sinek did. Some interesting fact, like we are so much talking about that time span of human attention and using a prop. If someone wants to discuss about mindful and gratitude, you must have noticed that most of the people use that half glass full example. Similarly, there are various props you can use in physical as well as in virtual sessions as well. I was trying to do it, incorporate some things, but considering the time and the everything, let's keep it for later on. So predictability is clear for all of you. Do not be predictable in your session. Now comes the 7th part, using visual aid. A week before, I was attending a session of Amrut Deshmukh, a booklet guy. Those of you who are aware, he summarizes the book. He's on a mission to make India ready. Most of the session I've attended is a couple of sessions. He is not using any PPT. But then too, he is able to engage his audience. Again, I will refer back to the stages of learning. You are at which stage of learning and mastering your communication skill, where you will be able to engross your audience when you will talk, and you will not have any visual ad to show. In my session, you will see attractive PPTs, and I deliberately do it. Why? Because just now, let's see, I'm the only one who has kept, and Shalu, thank you, Shalu, for keeping your video on from the start of the session. Nobody has kept their video on. Thank you, Vaishali. So 3 of us are here. You can see our beautiful faces, but rest of you, what you are doing at your home by keeping your video off, I don't know. So with my voice, I'm underlining the fact, whatever I'm delivering to you through this visual ad, है ना, interesting लग रहा है ना PPTs देखने में. So now I'm in a mood to hear some appreciation. Are you guys feeling good when you're looking at my slides?
Yes, very much.
Thank you, Vaishali. So whatever I'm speaking, my slides are underlining it. And what I'm doing, बचपन से हमें ना, आपने अपने बच्चों को देखा होगा, उनको कहानी की किताब दे दो, सेम कहानी की 2 किताब दे दो, एक में बहुत सारे पिक्चर्स हो, एक में कोई पिक्चर्स नहीं हो. They will be interested to read the one which is having pictures. Yes or no?
Yes.
They are more
Yes.
interested.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
using visual ads, your PPTs, videos. I'm using videos in my session to have your attention, and underlining the fact, I'll again mention whatever I'm speaking and keeping your attention engagement to it. Especially in virtual session, I like to do that. And I have mentioned about the stages of learning when there will be time. And again, I'll mention that we will be so pro in delivering our session and engaging the audience, no matter whether they have kept their video on or off. That time is fine. But for now, I would suggest that have the visual ed, the PPTs, the different videos, pictures, to have the clarity. It also enhances the memory of your audience. The retention with them will be more when it comes to giving them these pictures. And the next point is simple and clear. As I have mentioned at my introduction at the start of the session, what we are going to do, have the engaging start, and what I am, that is also in simplicity. So here I would like to show that very famous speech of Steve Jobs delivered in Harvard University. I just want you to observe the initial part. We are only having 8 minutes. Is it audible?
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of college after the first 6 months.
So what was there? Simplicity?
Simplicity as well as curiosity. What he's going to say about it.
Yes. And
Yes, simplicity, curiosity, honesty.
yes. Yes. So whatever you have to speak, considering your topic of discussion, considering your topic of deliberation, keep it simple.
Then addressing the audience, meet them where they are.
Yes. In
Most of-
NLP terms.
And also
The
making them
closest is-
happy.
That is the closest she has reached as far as graduation is concerned.
Yes. Yes. So keep it simple. So there is a term, curse of knowledge. You have so many things, so vast knowledge, so rich vocabulary, but it is advisable to keep your deliberation, to keep your speech simple, to reach out to the mind, to the heart of your audience. And now here, that catch, that my hook I was using from the start of the session. So tell me, how many of you are really hooked? And I was successful in keeping you till the end of the session for it. Can I have some raise hands to see whether my permutation combination work? Okay, Shalu says yes. Utkarsh, okay. Pinaki is applauding, so I will take yes, it is worked actually. So here I am. Observe that your attention when you are watching any series, web series, any film which you like, where you have been into the story, so okay, then you have immersed in that story. And you must have heard, even you or someone in your friend or family have watched all the series at one go in a single night. ऐसा हुआ है, ऐसा सुना है आपने, आपके साथ हुआ है, मेरे साथ हुआ है. गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स मैंने सारे सीजन एक साथ देख लिए थे बिफोर हैविंग माय किड्स. हुआ है आपके साथ? बोलिए.
अभी भी होता है.
Yes, abhi bhi hota hai. So how we can say that the time span of human attention is only 10 to 12 seconds? There is a magic, there is a weapon all of us are having, and which actually doing wonders when it comes to having our attention, is art of storytelling. Those speakers who narrate their point, who try to explain their point with the help of story, with the help of role plays, it is proved that they are successful in doing so. So आगे से mentioning that the attention span of ours is only 10 to 12 seconds, and it is very difficult. If I'm going to take a session, let's take an example, any of you are going to take a session next week, next month, anytime. Don't have that assumption that it is difficult to keep your audience engaged. You can do it, only you have to know the correct strategy, how to start, where you can incorporate the element of a story. Considering the timeline, I will not be able to give you a detailed explanation and demonstration, as we have already 2 minutes to close our session. What I would like to show, one speech I have delivered in Toastmasters recently. I won at the area level. I was third position holder. Just watch this video, and I want your takeaway, that how I have started and whether it was helpful to trigger that curiosity. So I'll have to push 1 second. It is.
This beautiful rose, when we admire its beauty,
It is audible?
everything. Have we ever thought where it was planted and in what weather condition it was planted? No matter what the situation or circumstances it was, what it chose to bloom. Madam Contest Chair, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, when I was 5 years old, once my father decided to teach me. Otherwise, my mother was the one who was making me ready to get admitted to the school. Both of us were sitting on the floor. There was a slate in my front and a chalk in my right hand, but I was in a no mood to study.
So what you have noticed, what I have used, actually I am about to narrate my childhood journey. I've used a prop. When we were discussing about unpredictability, there was a suggestion of using prop. I've used a prop, and before starting my story, sharing my story, childhood journey, I've narrated with the help of that rose. I've narrated that scenario. Instead of this, I would have started that at the young age. I was being in this area. I've been through this situation. Would have been interesting to listen more. Like, are you guys feeling engrossed when you are hearing the start of the speech? Tell me yes or no. Yes, Pinaki
Yes,
is
it's a
saying
very good
yes.
start. It's a very good start, in fact.
Yes. And in that 7-minute speech, everybody was curious. And actually, when I give my speeches in the physical sessions, in the meetings, or in a seminars, or when I take lectures for the college student or in corporates, I start my session with questions. And it actually helps me to have the attention of my audience, and I'm able to stick through it till the end part. Most of the time I get success. So we have actually crossed our time limit. So that was there to share in today's session, to have the start engaging and take that curiosity alive throughout the session, to transfer, to get your audience where you want to take them. As Pinaki was mentioning, as I have mentioned at the start of the session, starting where you want to take your audience to which place. So after the end of the session, we were around 20 of us, including me. Now we are 16. So I'm sure all of you got the clarity, some clarity, and some awareness that when next you will give your speech or your deliberation, what techniques you should use and how you should be mindful and aware when you will speaking. Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank
Definitely
you,
useful.
Rajlakshmi. Thank you.
Definitely useful. Thank you.
So now I open the forum, even though we have exceeded the time limit. If any one of you having any question, you can ask. And before that, if you guys will tell me your takeaways, your feedback, how was the session? Was it helpful? Will you going to try these tips, tricks? Mostly what happens, we are aware, हम जानते हैं ये चीज होती है, बट ऐसे होता है ना, थोड़ा सा उस जानने पे से धूल हटाओ और उसे अपने यूज में लाओ. So I hope all of you, all 20 participants, those were there from the start, maybe they have left, we will use these techniques and see the magic of our session. Like I am experimenting in my physical as well as virtual session, and I feel like I am getting success 70 to 80% cases. Okay, so Preshit says enlightenment. Thank you. Shalu, you are on mute if you are speaking. Yes.
Yeah.
Like to,
Thank you very much, Kalpana. So from starting, I was not able to get your all points, how you will say, going to benefit me in this session. But when you start how to introduce and this is very good part because introduction part teach the technique how to introduce like simplicity and this unpredictability method, and of course how the audience from their take them. Like these techniques are too good. I mean, I'll get very benefited how I'll present or I do some sessions for some things if I plan. And of course, in my general activity, you are going to help me a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shalu. Anyone is having any question or any feedback that you would like to share? It will help me to come up with such sessions more frequently. I've committed, I've mentioned it so many times that I'm committed to deliver one session every week on this soft skills and one sharing I do every day. That today is the 5th day on my group, Art of Influence WhatsApp group. So any one of you who have joined from outside and you would like to join my community, I will just share link of, just give me a minute. So what I personally feel that there was a time phase in my life when I was not very good, I must say, in communicating and expressing myself. And I literally feel like there is a new birth of mine when I'm easily and comfortably able to communicate and express myself. It is like coming out of my cage. वो जो एक जेल जैसा लग रहा था कि I was there, I was living freely, but I was not able to communicate. I was not able to speak out, speak up what is there, what was there in my heart, in front of friends, in front of my colleagues, in front of my seniors, or whatever I want to do. So, what I personally believe that soft skill, specifically communication and public speaking skill, is must to have, no matter we are in which field, which stream. It is must to have because I am experiencing that magic happening in my life when I am having वो कहते हैं ना आपके पर लग जाएंगे when you will be good in communicating and public speaking. And trust me, when I'm sharing this with all of you guys, whether I'm deliberating a session or posting on my group, yes, so I was sharing that link. I forgot वो flow में मैं भूल गई. Everyone. Yeah, so here it is. So whatever I mentioned, we all are learning. Either we must be in first stage unconscious incompetency, conscious incompetency, conscious competency, and unconscious competency. So we all are at different stage, and whatever I share with all of you guys, I follow that. So it is helping to all, and it is helping manifold to my skill and methodology. So I'm actually enjoying it, and I want all of you to enjoy, have that wings of freedom when you will get when you will get the opportunity to speak out your heart to the masses. So with that, I would like to conclude our today's session. And
I have one.
yes,
I have one. Yeah, if we can, if you can do this session interactive, I mean, with some activities or some like some methods or tools.
Yes,
you will...
yes, it is there in my mind. We will see. So lot of things we will do more interactive. Some workshop I'll come up with. So be there and have keep your curiosity alive and that learning that वो बच्चा जो है आप में जिसे सीखने की ललक होती है उसको रखिए जिंदा and we will surely do it.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, thank you so much. Shubh Ratri.